Look, they're multiplying and disappearing. Oh my God.
What?
There's UFOs out there, babe. Is it picking it up?
Yeah.
See how it's like appearing and then disappearing? There's lights in the sky that don't look normal.
I don't see it. I don't see it.
Oh my God.
Whoa.
That's nuts.
Hey, what's up guys? Tyler here with Secure Team. So a lot of stuff to get to today, but I want to start out with this new UFO clip out of Cincinnati, Ohio. So a viewer sent this in to me who stated they were on their way to a place called the Micro Center in Sharonville on I-275 when they noticed what looked like 4 to 5 lights that were moving in a strange fashion to the south, multiple lights in formation. And the viewer said that it reminded them of lights that we've shown on the channel in the past, where there were several in line and then one will disappear on one side and then another one will appear on the opposite side, sort of giving the feel of a rotating object with multiple lights. And that's when his wife was quick to grab the cell phone and hit record. He said that the lights were visible for around 10 seconds before the video started, and she recorded them until they exited the highway and lost view. So, very interesting capture here. He also stated that the fact that she was able to capture these lights in the distance with bright lights in the foreground while traveling at around 70 miles per hour should give an idea of just how bright and clear these lights were despite the recording. And I would have to agree, whatever these are, the fact that they're going so fast, there's so many other bright lights, and these lights seem to be so far in the distance, they are still massively bright. The fact that they are so far away and they are being picked up so well. So this is not just your typical little Chinese lantern or something like that, where at this distance it likely wouldn't even show up. So really, really awesome footage. Big thanks to Josh out of Cincinnati for sending this in. UFOs are being sighted all over the world, and I've been getting a ton of emails about this story. And so if you guys haven't heard it yet, it's one of the top stories right now in regards to the UFO topic, where pilots, commercial airline pilots out of Ireland, have reported basically a mass UFO sighting of a couple of objects seen in the sky, and it's all over the news. So before we go any further, I'm going to play you the actual FAA, well, this will actually be from the Shannon Air Traffic Control Center, where you'll hear them receiving a call from a British Airways flight pilot flying from Montreal to Heathrow over Kerry, Ireland, where you can hear them asking if anyone else has seen multiple bright lights descending from the sky, and then hearing other pilots admitting that they have also seen these strange moving lights. So give this a listen.
Okay, sir, there's nothing showing on either primary or secondary.
Okay, it was moving so fast, in fact, you can no longer see it, but yes, thank you.
990. 505, thank you. Along the side here?
Yes. It's to come up on our left-hand side and then rapidly veer to the north, being so bright light, and then it just disappeared at a very high speed. We were just wondering. We didn't think it was a likely collision course, we were just wondering what that could have been.
Meteor or another object making some kind of re-entry. Appeared to be multiple objects following the same sort of trajectory. Very bright from where we were.
Okay, that's copied, and is there a direction it was going in or anything? Right, it's copied, thank you.
The Virgin 76 also saw that in our 11 o'clock position, 2 bright lights.
Roger, that's copied, thank you.
Glad it wasn't just me? No, yeah, very interesting, that one. Virgin 76, I saw 2 bright lights, 11 o'clock, seem to back over to the right and then climb away at speed, at least from our perspective.
Okay, we're passing that on now, thank you.
Okay, just so you know that other aircraft in the air have also reported the same thing, so we're going to have a look and see.
The speed was astronomical, it's like Mach 2.
Okay, so You may have to go back and listen to this a couple of different times due to the heavy accents of the pilots, but basically what they've said, and I've added some subtitles to the main points of this conversation, was that we have the first pilot noticing and then contacting ground control over two bright lights descending from the sky at an amazing speed. And to quote the pilot, describe them as really bright lights that, quote, came up along the plane before disappearing at a very high speed. She said that they were, quote, wondering what it could be, and that it did not seem to be on a collision course. Then, two other planes also reported seeing the object in the area at the time, or objects. And also, during this recording, you can also hear one of the other pilots stating that they see these two bright lights heading very quickly and then actually begin to fly back upwards, which move off to the right and then begin climbing away. With a final pilot reporting that yes, indeed, other aircraft in the area have also spotted the mysterious unidentified lights. Now we have a statement here from the Irish Aviation Authority saying, quote, following reports from a small number of aircraft on Friday the 9th of November of unusual air activity, the IAA has filed a report. This report will be investigated under the normal confidential occurrence investigation process. And so yeah, basically what we know is that the air traffic control confirmed that there were no such exercises happening in the air, so we can rule that out. The pilots again described them as, quote, moving so fast. We have the pilot flying from Montreal to Heathrow, who said there was a very bright light and that the object had come up along the left side of the aircraft before it rapidly veered to the north. And then we had another pilot from a Virgin plane which joined in and suggested that it might be a meteor or another object re-entering the Earth's atmosphere. However, that theory has been refuted by the other pilot accounts of the object changing directions and then climbing back up into the sky at a very high rate of speed. So yeah, really big news right now, guys. I will stay on top of it. If I have any more info, I'll definitely post a follow-up video. But I really do like pieces of, recordings like this and news stories like this, because it confirms not only what people on YouTube are saying, people like me who just sort of report the news, but, you know, this stuff is really happening. It's really being seen by pilots. In fact, many would tell you today, and I'm inclined to agree with this, that one of the most solid evidence-wise UFO incidents to ever occur on planet Earth happened in the sky, reported by airline pilots. And of course, I'm talking about the Japan Airlines Flight 1628, which occurred on November 17th, 1986, where a Japanese Boeing 747 was en route from Paris to Narita International Airport near Tokyo, where the entire crew of the plane encountered a massive disc-shaped object, many times the size of the aircraft itself, that abruptly rose up from below the plane and closed in almost to escort the aircraft. Lights coming off this thing that were so bright that it totally lit up the cabin, and the captain of the plane could even feel heat on his face from the object. And by the end of the incident, they had actually seen 3 of these craft. First, there were 2 that then departed, and then a third and much larger disc-shaped object began trailing them. The sighting lasted around 50 minutes. It's one of the most documented UFO incidents ever. I highly suggest you looking into Japan Airlines Flight 1628. So it goes to show that some of the most evidence-rich UFO incidents to ever occur come from up in the air by these airline pilots, and for good reason. So stay tuned for updates to this story. Now, a couple of other interesting pieces of UFO evidence here. First, we have a very strange object that was captured near our sun, seen on the LASCO C2 satellite camera. So we have multiple satellites up there that are orbiting our sun, taking constant footage and photographs and data. But if you'll notice, right on the edge here, where we can actually see the light from the sun coming out, there's a very distinct, almost rocket-shaped object captured in a frame, seemingly moving away from the sun, or towards it. I'm not sure. It only appears in one frame, and it appears during a a solar explosion, a solar eruption. And so this was discovered by Scott Waring over at UFO Sightings Daily. So really cool find. You'll find a ton of these strange objects in footage of our sun. These things seem to proliferate around it. So this is actually one of the more concrete findings, in my opinion, because some of these things you don't know if they are simple, radiation hitting the back of the camera lens, but some of these things take definite shapes like this. So really strange, seems to be coming away from the sun. Very, very interesting. And lastly today, speaking of strange things spotted in space, here we have yet another discovery on the ISS cameras by my friend and fellow YouTuber Truthseeker, who was monitoring the ISS. Now this is a part where the ISS is behind the Earth, so everything is dark. We're just seeing dark space here. But at one point, he managed to capture another one of these fast-moving objects, again captured in one frame, jetting past the ISS, but taking a very strange and vibrant color. And you're seeing that here in the form of this strange, glowing blue object. What appears to be a donut shape with sort of a tail coming off of it. All of it illuminated, bright blue, jets by very quickly. Yet another unknown spacefaring object captured flying past the International Space Station. So with that is all I have for you guys today, but I appreciate you stopping by. I've got much more in the works, so stay tuned. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter, where I post updates to when new videos are coming, and as always, I will see you guys back in just a bit.